Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed, jayayanu, goeiemorgen, ishpata.
Paheragale, ni hao, churushumbe, washpale, Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifahal, hale shama chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabiab, balli kare aya, marhaba, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into Ptvworld. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very superb, the very scintillating, the very fantabulous Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
Doing great, thank you so much for asking. And you know what? Because it's been almost more than, well, 2 years now that we've been doing the show together. So I'm going to take this moment and sort of reverse the roles and introduce you.
Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is Shiza Hashmi, your very own host for Well this morning. And with me, I have the super energetic, the very considerate, the very kind, and, well, the very good looking Shahzad
Wow.
Khan.
Thank you very much, Shiza, and I loved every bit of it. And thank you very much that you took advantage of the opportunity and you
I
wanted
never
to.
get to do it.
And very sorry, and you kind of reciprocated.
Yeah.
And I think that this is something which is very important. This is something which I would love to talk about today as well.
Yes.
You know how important it is to reciprocate as well. Even though that I'm one of those people who actually have zero expectations from anyone, you know, even if I'm putting in a lot of hard work or even if I'm not even talking to you, you know, I feel like as if, you know, it's my responsibility to reciprocate in the best of my ways, in the best of my manners.
And it is very important sometimes, especially. So I have a guilty confession over here, which is not very good. I know, but I'm getting better at it.
Okay,
So here's
that's
the
good.
thing: I'm very antisocial. You know that, Shazad. So even for the people who are close to me, my really close friends, I don't like going out and I don't like meeting people.
Okay.
Right? So they would just. I mean, I really have to give it the credit to them because it's because of them the friendship is still alive. Because I go MIA so soon, I go ghosting them all the
Okay.
time, right?
Okay.
And they keep up. They often come to meet and they message. And well, I mean, just lately I felt like it is absolutely faulty at my part, yes.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment, since you're talking about reciprocating,
Yeah.
I felt like if I need to keep these people in my life, because mashallah, they've been contributing a lot already and they love me for me, right? So I need to reciprocate. So I am sort of getting out of my comfort zone in a way that I will force myself to go out every now and then with at least one of them and, you know, stay connected through calls or even voice notes for that
Yeah.
matter. So, well, yes, it is absolutely important reciprocate to let the other person know that they matter.
Exactly, that's true as well. And you know, Shiza, you know, you really do not have to get out of your comfort zone as well. You know, because there are two types of friendships. One friendship, you obviously have to keep a check on your friend. And there's
Yes.
another friendship where if you do not even talk to each other, where if you do not even meet each other for, let's say, you know, 5 years, but, you know, the moment you guys are going to see each other, I think everything is going to come back as well. So, you know, you really need to know which kind of friendship you
But
have
we're in
with
the same
all
city
of.
now. They feel
Yes,
like
okay. You
meeting
know,
all
if
the
you're in the same
time.
city, it's very important for you to go and check up on your friends as well. It's
Yes.
very important. And one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, since now the universities have opened up, the schools have opened up, uh, I don't know, but I think that the parents are not driving very responsibly. Every now and then, when I'm coming towards work now, I see that, you know, people are just driving like crazies. You know, they won't actually have the lane discipline, they won't give indicators. You know, everybody's just in a rush to make sure that they reach the point of wherever the drop off point is. Please
Right.
make sure please don't do that, number one. Number two is that I've seen and I've witnessed to that as well, that parents, just because they are, themselves are in a hurry of reaching their office, what they do is that they drop their kids right opposite to the school as well. And then the kids actually have to run and cross the roads as well. Please don't do that. Kids are very vulnerable. They at times do not have this in their mind as well, that they really have to look to the left and to the right as well. Please don't do that. That's a humble request. And please drive like normal people. You know, even if it's going to be 1 minute late, it's not going to cost you anything. God forbid, just because you were in a hurry, that can be very dangerous and devastating.
Right, and Shazad, you know where you said that because it's everything is now open, so a rush hour can be expected literally any hour of the day as well. So if you feel like you will be stuck in a lot of traffic and you know you'll be late and you'll be well having your anger issues early in the morning because of the traffic, leave on time. I mean, leave on
Yeah,
time. Yes, if
yeah, you really need to
you
do that.
need to first of all anticipate the traffic. It is going to be there, so might as well, manage your time with that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, today happens to be a very special day for a very special little someone.
Yeah.
Do we need to
Yes,
talk about
ladies
it
and
now?
gentlemen, we want to actually wish Zainab Qasim a very happy Hatch Day.
Zainab Vakas,
Yes, Zainab Waqas is actually turning I think she's 1 year old now,
yes,
mashallah. So
yes.
congratulations to her and to her parents and to everybody who's actually celebrating their birthday today. It's a great day for you, and we wish and hope and pray that everything which you want or your parents want for you comes true and real in life as well. So Zainab Waqas, happy Hash Day, and Shiza Mami is actually going to sing you a song. Please go ahead.
Aw, happy birthday, Zainab. I hope you have a great day and a great,
I think
great
that's
life
wonderful.
ahead.
Now, there's another important thing which I want to
Okay,
talk about.
let's.
So, what happens is that, I think that I've tried talking about it once on our show as well, and that is that, there are certain things which you want to do in life, and then there are certain things which you just do, out of fun, or probably you really do not know how it might result, and then just because it was giving you that adrenaline rush, or you felt as if you were very happy for that particular moment, but the next morning you wake up and then you are so hard on yourself, and then you were like,
I
why did
wish
I
I
do
didn't do
this?
it
Yeah, I wish
right.
I didn't do it. So there's this guilt conscious, and you keep on doing that as well. And this is one thing, because since yesterday I was just kind of listening to Quran with translation as well. So there is this ayah in Quran which says that please do not be so hard on you, because Allah is forgiving. And this was something which actually gave me a sigh of relief, that okay, at times we're very hard on ourselves as well. Not just that, we really need to train our brain in order to do
Absolutely.
so as well. We really need to know or recognize the emotions we have within our own selves as well. Only then we can contemplate on that and then move
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yes, absolutely true. And Shazad, one issue that I have been, this is sort of related to it as well, where you say that we go hard on ourselves. It is true. It is also very natural to, well, be judgmental of yourself, right? But the thing is, it does cause anxiety and
Yeah.
stress. And for a lot of people, Shazad, it is happening around me lately a lot. My friends, or my parents for that matter, would feel so sick or would feel so, well, under the weather and would not be able to do anything. And just, well, people think, right, okay, this may be wrong with me, this may be wrong with me. And you go to get tested, everything is clear, and the only thing wrong with you is you being anxious or, what do we call, tensed.
Depressed
Yes,
probably at
not
times
depressed
as
actually,
well.
but anxiety does sort of hover around you, right? And that is one of the things, if you deal with, you will be able to first of all control your thoughts, of course, put them to where you want them to be, and then be healthy, feel healthy from within, and then be able to exercise it in the out as
Exactly.
well.
So for problems of such sort, ladies and gentlemen, we really need somebody who we call a holistic coach or a life coach as well, who himself or herself has been through all of these situations and then have conquered, their own personality, or probably they were prone to making sure that that the only thing which is inevitable is change. So
Yes.
this is something which is very important in life, how people adopt to new changes, how people are open to new ideas, and I think that it's very important. So today we're very lucky, ladies and gentlemen, that we've actually been joined by somebody who in the first place wrote this bestseller with the name of Managing the Unthinkable. It's for managers, within different firms as well. He's been there in the top 500 Fortune companies as well, giving them all of these life coaching hacks. And the best part is that when he's delivering his life coaching hacks, he makes sure that if the company is not going to reap the results, he's not going to actually charge any fee as well.
Wow.
So he's given us 8 to 9, 10 topics as well today, which we will be talking about. I'll share the topics with you guys. For example, stress relief, communicate to persuade, train your brain. What do your feelings mean? I think this is one very important point as well. How to be confident in all situations, how to deal with depression. So, there's a long list. We want to be in conversation with him. So, if there's anybody who really want to improve their own self, if they think that there's room for improvement, because there's always room for improvement. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Mr. Danial Sheikh Atif Saab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much.
So
Thanks
thank
for
you very
having.
much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you, and the kind of work you've done, the way you've written your books as well, and the way you've actually added to the profits of the top 500 Fortune company. I think it was very important for us to actually share this platform with you, so that you can share your experiences and give us life hacks as well.
Right. So, if I may begin, please,
Sure.
because I've been wanting to actually ask this question to a lot of people who have written and published books similar to yours. So, first of all, when I read something like that, which is giving me, well, life advice basically on how to manage things like that, where does it come from? Have you experienced all of that? Is it just your, well, hypothetical presence in all these situations that you think you're sharing with people?
Well, first of all, just wanted to say congratulations to both of you. You said it's been a couple of years now that
Yes.
you have an excellent program,
Thank you so much.
uh, as far as morning shows go, both of you help us internationalize Pakistan's image, which is a passion of mine as well. So thank you for
Thank
what
you.
you
Thank you
for
very
what
much.
you both
Very
do.
much.
So one of my passions in this area is, the West has a lot of wonderful things to give the rest of the world.
Okay.
I've lived in 4 continents of the world. I've worked in 4 continents. And as I said, the West has wonderful things to give. But the one contagion, I would say,
Right.
a really awful habit, which is sort of permeating into the society in Pakistan as well, is, to my mind, is antidepressant medication.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. What it does to the mind, to the body,
Yes.
is debilitating. So that was my research on stress. That stress and, as you put it, anxiety and depression. And it is such a you kindly mentioned, Shehzad, my work with Fortune 500 companies. The way it impacts productivity. Stress actually leads to medically shrinking of the brain, leads to Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
It's a trigger for autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
So it's not like go be a man. Especially with men, unfortunately, in our society and in Western societies as well,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to talk about our emotions because we are idiots, we sometimes
People
associate.
take us for robots, man, and that's not true.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Well put. So that's why my work with the stress and anxiety, and this is
And
this
and,
is
and
what.
we truly get it, and this is something which we want to talk about as well. But initially, for all our viewers who are out there, might be thinking this way as well, and there's something which I'm known for as well. It's a little bit of scrutiny, and that is that while I was going through your profile, I was reading that you talk about how you've worked with top 500 Fortune companies, and how you've really given them that extra edge as well over their competitors. Sorry. But now what I want to know is that over and over again when I read about you, there's one thing which was very common, and that was that you majority of the times you talk when you come working with companies, you talk about that they will gain profits. Now, for somebody who's a holistic coach or a life coach, shouldn't always be bothered about profits, or should he be, or should she be?
Great point.
I think it's an incentive to also talk to the kind of people you're talking to, right? So if you, sorry, please explain. This was my understanding of it.
Thank you for that. Great question. Great question. So the thing is, the space that I operate in, working with in the field of management, my basics is management consulting.
Yeah.
Okay.
My book was essentially I wrote a textbook which is being taught to MBA students at Princeton and so
And
on.
I read about that as well.
So a lot of the management coaching is mostly fluff.
Okay.
You're like, where are the quantifiable results?
Yeah.
How do I gain? What do I do tomorrow?
Yeah.
And then one manager you meet who has not taken any training or anything is the best manager on the planet.
Yeah.
And someone who has like 5 degrees, MBAs from here and there is just awful.
Yeah, that's true.
So where are the applicable things you pick up? So in the book that you were kind
Managing the
enough to
Unthinkable.
mention, Managing the Unthinkable, at the end of every chapter, there are 10 things that you can go implement on your company tomorrow.
Okay.
It's not just stories, just vague stories that, So my effort is always to quantify.
So it's not more of qualitative, it's more of qualitative.
Yes,
Quantitative, yes.
but you know, it's to link both of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Even when I teach, I've taught at York University, Canada for many years. It's an okay university, but they have an excellent business school,
Yeah,
top
okay.
20 business school in the world.
All right.
So they're also, we have to merge the theoretical with the practical.
Okay.
As you kindly put it, the qualitative with the quantitative.
It has to
Just
be a
so,
perfect blend of both.
absolutely.
Right, that makes sense as well. Now, you know, again, one of the things that you have spoken about in your, let's say, lectures or in your books even is how gratitude can change your entire life. And this is something I have read a lot about. I want to implement it in my life, and I sort of force myself as well, Shazad, because, you know, so I'll give you just an example. If I'm having a nervous breakdown, which is very common for me,
Yeah, okay.
I, rather than now being worried about it or being crying in it, even when I'm having the worst of my panic attacks, I keep saying, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. So as to just tell me that look around you. I mean, if one thing is bothering you, 100 things are a gift for you, right?
Exactly.
Now, I want you to explain your perspective of how to inculcate gratitude in your life to actually, well, make a massive impact. Because you are not just catering to normal people like me, you're talking about corporate people.
Yes. So, first of all, it's wonderful that you know that you appreciate the power of gratitude.
Yeah.
Biochemically, it is impossible to be in a state of stress
Yes.
and be grateful at the same time.
I
Yeah,
force.
So,
I force.
something that Shazad was mentioning, the ayah in the Quran, you know, if we are grateful to Allah, that is the biggest, you know, a counter to
stress and everything. Yeah.
Without word of a lie, without the word of exaggeration,
Yes.
you know, we're just way too hard on ourselves. We should treat ourselves as we do our best friend.
Yeah.
Be nice, be appreciative. As you said, you know, you mentioned it is wonderful that you have such high standards for yourself. That you
Thank you.
keep stressing yourself about this and
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and but sometimes it's just good to stop,
Right.
isolate the cause of your stress. Where does stress come from? Because your vision or your blueprint of your life
I was
does
about
not
to say
match
that.
the
Yeah.
reality.
But you can never put a pin on it, can you?
Absolutely right. But you know, that's people like yourself who keep setting higher standards for themselves.
Yeah.
These are
Okay.
the people who grow as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But these are the people who,
Who have trouble
Yes.
within
However,
the diabolical
But
selves
why
as
is
well.
it? But why is it? You know, you very rightly said that it is only because that the blueprint does not match the reality of our life. But why
Yes,
is it that
yes.
majority of the times this is what the truth is, that the blueprint does not match the reality?
Yes.
Or is it the way that that our brains are? Probably, do we have to train our brain in order to make sure that our blueprint is just like the way our life is?
well, you know, it's just it's unfortunate challenge that all human beings face.
Yeah.
None of us can sort of have everything. If your family life is wonderful, you might be not where you are in your career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're amazing in your career, your physical body might not be as fit as you'd want it to be.
True. Yeah.
Your kids might not be where you. So something is missing in someone's life. The-
It's only natural, right?
you know, the study of economics, which is what I teach.
Exactly.
Forgive me
Okay.
for bringing that into
No problem,
into this
please.
discussion. That's a study of choices. And everyone in that, when I share the example of Bill Gates,
Yeah.
who's one of the wealthiest people on the planet. So someone say, well, you know, he would have everything. What would he not have? He would not have time.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a bridge player, but he's an awful bridge player.
Okay.
It is his ambition to be a good bridge player, but he's not. So the reason I bring this up is because everyone lacks something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, in that case, then you have to build the rest of your life, build it on your successes, not on your failures,
Exactly.
and spend only 5% of your time on your problems and 95% on the solutions.
Exactly.
What we do is we spend way too much time sort of inside ourselves, just
Right.
our
Yeah.
problems. What is wrong with me? You know, what's wrong with
Ab
the
ye
Why do
world?
I
ho gaya,
feel
ye
this
ho
way?
gaya.
You know,
Absolutely.
why did I do that? You know, and we do it to ourselves. And I think it's very important. You know, because I've literally seen all of those people growing who have been hard on themselves, not really hard, But obviously, you need to take out time for yourself and then contemplating on who you actually are and how you want to move forward in life, which is great. Now, sir, since we were talking about failures and successes and everything, and Blueprint in particular, now the problem over here is, which I think I have rectified for myself, is that now there's social media. Now there's, you see Dre singing and giving out $1 million. You see,
God's plan.
you go on to Netflix and you see Pablo Escobar, and where he's been hiding money in different areas, and he just need dollar US 2,000 US dollars of rubber bands only to stack his money. So when you see all of these things, they have an impact on you. It's not that cinema does not have an impact, which is why cinema still exists. So I think one way or the other, we kind of have somebody else's blueprint in our life, and we forget to kind of reflect upon the kind of life we have.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one common mistake which we are making. How to correct that? And number two, how do we make sure that we train our brain that 95% we're working on solutions and 5% we are working on failures? Because when you talk about failure, then the people will be like, if you do not have any failure in life, you're not going to grow. So from every aspect, there's so many people, so many things there are which you really cannot absorb in one single go.
Of course.
Sorry, just to add to
Please,
that as well.
please.
I feel like it's the sweet American dream that's been sold to all of us, and none of that can be realized.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Well, if you to your point and your point, if you check anyone's Instagram post, their life looks so perfect.
Yeah.
They look way prettier than anyone that you've seen. There is this disconnect that sort of stems from social media. So that is something to guard against. An author wrote a wonderful piece in New York Times, and she mentioned that there's a problem with communication these days.
Okay.
Communicate to persuade. You've written about it.
Yes, absolutely. But these days everyone is on the cell phone, and everyone is. You say to people, you don't communicate. They're like, well, but we are on this. But there is a difference between communication and conversation. When we are sitting here talking to each other, all of our flaws, all of our goods and bads are in front of each other.
Exactly.
If we were communicating via this, we get a chance to hide all of those
Right.
and put forth someone which is actually a representative of us, but not really us.
All right.
Or probably what we
That's
wish
true.
to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the way we wanted to come across to
Yeah.
somebody else as well. I think that's important. But sir, very quickly, obviously, we can ask you a lot of questions as well, but we want the viewers to get the best of you. So, we'll give you another extra 3 minutes where we just want you to be in conversation with our audiences and tell them that these are the most common problems you've seen people coming across, and then these are the solutions to them. So it's a direct approach with all of our viewers as well. Please go ahead.
Sure. So here is something that I want to do, if I may. I'm going to give you 10 techniques and strategies to make sure that you do not have another day that you're stressed, depressed, or lack energy after today. This is the last day that you are stressed, depressed, or lack energy.
Wonderful.
The first point that I would reiterate is something that Shehzad touched upon. Be grateful to Allah. Just the fact that we are here, we have this opportunity to be on this planet, to get an ability to eat, go to work, have a family, is a blessing. Be kind to yourself. Number 2, allow oxygen to your brain. If you stress out, it shrinks your brain. Go do some exercise. Emotion comes from motion. Be active. Number 2. Number 3, something that we have done since we were born. Unfortunately, we do not do it properly. Breathe. Through the nose. So, we are a little bit short on time, so I'm just going to rush through this. Otherwise, I would have shown you a little bit of a technique on this as well. Number 4, there is a deficiency of vitamins that shows itself as depression or stress. So
Or being lethargic, yes.
absolutely right. So we are short on. Please get checked. We're short on vitamin B1,
Yeah.
Okay.
vitamin D3,
Yeah.
magnesium, which is the most healthy painkiller, sleeping
Vitamin.
pill that you can ever have.
Okay.
So let me repeat: B1, D3,
And
magnesium.
magnesium.
Food.
Food, yeah.
Try to cut down on low carbs. I know they're a part of our rice, uh, bread, sugar. Go towards egg yolks, chocolates, celery sticks. I have 5 more, but I think you're a
Yeah,
little bit short on
I
time.
think we
So
short on
sorry.
time as well, so we're going
Some
to do
other
it
time.
in the next program, ladies and gentlemen. We've actually requested Mr. Daniel Sheikho Atif Saab to actually, come over, once a week or twice a week and share all of these life hacks with us as well and with our viewers as well. So thank you very much, Daniel Saab. It was wonderful to be in conversation. We kind of touched upon on a few, but I think that we have a long way to go as well. Thank you very much once again for joining us.
And I think, Shazad, the tips that we received in this segment are actually way too helpful for the people who were in the services sector, sorry, during this pandemic, because we know the services sector was hit the hardest throughout, well, more than one and a half year now. So if you stay tuned, you'll find out that we'll be in conversation with some of the hoteliers from Pakistan or people who have been in the services sector for so long. Good morning, stay tuned.
Let's do this.
Shai Mosque or the Royal Mosque in Lahore, commissioned by the 6th Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1671 and completed in 1673, is the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the 5th largest mosque in the world. Epitomizing the beauty, passion and grandeur of the Mughal era. It is Lahore's most famous landmark and a major tourist attraction. Capable of accommodating 5,000 worshippers in its main prayer hall and a further 95,000 in its courtyard, it remains the largest mosque in the world. From 1673 to 1986, a period of 313 years, when overtaken in size by the completion of the Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. Today, it remains the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the 5th largest mosque in the world after Masjid al.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into Ptvworld, you're watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very superb, the very emotional these days, Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, we were in conversation with a life coach who I believe gave us some good tips about how you can really improve your own moods every single day. So, he talked about breathing, he talked about exercising, he talked about giving your body the right amount of oxygen as well, how to avoid stress, how to have good food, which is important. But the last point where we were talking about how to have good food, I think these days there's so much urbanization taking place that everybody wants to go out and dine out. And unfortunately, this is the only extracurricular activity we have over here in Pakistan,
True.
because we do not have any fun rides to go to. We do not have any other places where we can go probably. I don't want to say it, but I
No
think
recreation,
yeah, no
basically.
recreation basically. So the only recreation we have over here in Pakistan is food.
Yeah.
Khai jao, tunni jao, so which I'm very against. But other than that, so there has been a tremendous increase in the hospitality industry, in the services industry as well, if we speak about it. Because talking about restaurant owners, recently we saw there was this restaurant owner who actually did demean one of their managers, who still chose to actually work with them. So I think we should actually not be talking about it. But other than that, since the pandemic hit, we know for sure that that there were certain SOPs in place where there was no dine-in, so everybody had to sit outside, and there were special SOPs, and there were special measures taken by the restaurant owners. But then half of the time, what we got to hear was that half of the staff was actually laid off. So what's the point of having 20 franchises all over Pakistan, where you cannot even suffice the need of all of those people who've been working for you for the last 2 decades, or 1 decade for that matter, or 5 years? I think there should have been a cut down in the salary, but not really laying people off as well. We'll talk about that, and then because pandemic was new, this
Yeah.
COVID-19 virus, ladies and gentlemen,
Unexpected.
was unexpected, and it was novel. I think that's the right word to use as well. Not anymore, but people didn't knew how to respond to it, and people didn't knew how to actually, for example, for all of those waiters and managers who were at the restaurants, they were very forgetful. At times they won't be wearing masks. At times, if you ask for sanitizer, they'll be like, "Sir, use your own." So there were different problems. We will be in conversation with people who happen to be restaurant owners, and especially in particular, I think we'll be in conversation with somebody who's been affiliated with multinational chains, and have been there to make sure that all the SOPs are being followed, and that the trainings are being imparted as well. Not that you go somewhere, हाँ भाई काम करोगे आ जाओ, कल से उसको they'll give him a waistcoat and a pant and be like, okay चलो काम शुरू कर दो. This is not how it is, because to me, I think restaurant, and this it really needs to be incorporated into the food industry, and this is the way forward. So very quickly,
Yeah,
do you
let's
want to do it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by, like Shahzad already mentioned, people from the services sector, especially from, well, the hotels and the food and restaurant sector as well.
Hospitality.
Industry, yes, hospitality sector. First of all, we happen to have a cafe owner with us as well, who is Hajra Saqib. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Hajra.
Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad. Good. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much for
Pleasure.
joining us. Wonderful to have you. Always love having restaurant owners. They always treat us with whatever they want to.
And
But
next
yeah,
to-
we're not that type. We do not want to come across like that.
Next to Hajra, we have someone who is, well, I think he's the need of the hour as well, especially in Pakistan, who happens to be a hospitality consultant. And you can only become that first if you have first-hand experience of being in the sector as well. So
Exactly.
he has that too. Mr. Safdar Khan. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good
Walaikum
morning.
assalam.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much
inviting.
joining us.
It's our
wonderful to have
pleasure.
you.
So you guys, without wasting any further minute, I think, Hajra, I want you to talk about being the owner of a restaurant or a cafe in Pakistan, the challenges that you faced with the pandemic.
Okay, now thank
A
you
to
very
Z,
much.
okay?
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. And now coming back to this concept of that, like Shahzad mentioned, that why weren't the cafes or the restaurants were able to sustain the salaries of their employees for in this need of hour.
Yes.
So first, let me tell you that this industry is something that everybody is, associated to, every strata of society.
Absolutely.
So what happens is that in this particular society, in this pandemic, which came in unforeseen,
Yeah.
if you look at the statistics from the world, this and the hospitality and airline business has been the worst hit.
Absolutely.
And throughout the world, there has been a sort of relief packages given to the hospitality industry to make them sustain this.
Okay.
Do you know, in Pakistan, there are 50 to 60 lakh or 5 to 6 million people who are directly or indirectly associated with the restaurant industry.
That's a
and
lot.
half of them have been laid off.
Oh, gosh.
So, I mean, yes, maybe we were making profits at one time, but at this point of time, we are not making any profits. We are only looking forward to sustain this thing. This is a big part of our culture which should remain there, and it is I think, everybody's responsibility to make sure that the restaurant industry thrives.
Absolutely. And I think this is the perfect moment to actually throw your concern onto the consultant over here. So yes, we will definitely get to, training and stuff, but one of her concerns is sustainability right now. What to do about that? Where do you think we're lacking?
Well, actually, the major problem is that the indoor seating has been shut down. We don't have any indoor seatings allowed. So we have outside. They have allowed few seatings.
Yes.
But how many seats you can put? There are so many restaurants, like almost 40 to 50% restaurants has been shut down all over Pakistan. And outside seating, how many seats you can put? Not everybody wants to sit outside.
True.
And not everyone has a seating, like proper seating, outside seating, layouts. So because of that, we're facing a lot of problems, and the sales are been very low, and people are struggling like anything, all over the world. We've seen that, as Haja just mentioned, that, in different countries, they have supported a lot our industry. The major part, in my opinion, the focus should be that the restaurant is not considered as industry in Pakistan. I mean, we've been working on it. We've been requesting, and someone is working on it as well.
Are you ready to pay industrial taxes as well?
Of
I'm
course.
sure they will.
Of course.
But yes, Mr.
Frankly, if you become an industry, you get a lot more benefits than just being
Absolutely.
there.
All right.
But Mr. Safdar, adding to where you said that there's no such setup over here, there is a national association for restaurants, is there right?
Yes.
Yeah, so let me know, do they help you to put out rules and, restrictions or SOPs at least, that this is where you fall, and then give you benefits like you said? Does it have?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I would say not exactly. I mean, these things don't even come from the city
Associations,
departments.
okay.
Even from them. But this is something Pakistan lacks. Like
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Abroad is very different. Abroad you have certain every franchise. Every restaurant business, they have their own SOPs, they have their own training systems.
Okay.
Every staff, from busboy to management level, they have to go to certain training programs.
Okay.
A month, 2 months, to 3 months, to 4 months,
Okay.
and then be on job. Be on floor working. So in Pakistan we lack on that. So since last 5 years, I've been working as a consultant, hospitality consultant, and my major focus is guide people, train people, and on SOPs, and especially on trainings. So when people are trained, very well trained, they know what to do. Like it's like we were discussing earlier about service. So if our waiters, servers, they don't know that what is steps of service. So how can they serve? So we our investors, people and owners of restaurants, they invest so much money on restaurants, but they're not focusing on training staff.
The quality of
they're not investing on that part, which is the major, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, that's brilliant, and I think everybody needs to do that as well. But one way or the other, what I can deduce is that majority of the restaurant owners are not willing to invest in such an activity for making sure that that the people are there and that they are trained as well, and that they have all of those etiquettes which are required.
Yeah.
Now, what I need to ask is, now keeping in mind that we're talking about Pakistan, obviously, you said that there needs to be some extra help as well from the government side. It always needs to be public-private partnership. But unfortunately, we're not that rich of a country, but we're in the right direction, alhamdulillah, and inshallah soon we'll see that as well. Now, talking about sustainability, I think that that we went under a lockdown for 2 to 3 months maximum, and afterwards we should be thankful and grateful to the government that they opened up the restaurants with the permission that you can dine out probably. If
I'm
you
sure they understand
you cannot dine in, because they understood that God forbid if we went into another lockdown, I think that majority of the businesses will shut down as well, which I'm glad about, and that now when we roam around in the evening, or at night we're out for dinners, we see that the restaurants who actually had that layout where they could actually make sure that people are going to sit outside are just full. And I literally had to stand like 30 minutes, just 3 or 4 days ago, just so that I can get a free chair. So they are making money. It's not that they're not making
I
money.
think that's not a very good perception because we are catering to only 30% of our capacity. So why you have to wait for three
No, you're
30
talking about
minutes?
that capacity which you have developed over 2 years. You know, initially when you started, you didn't had that capacity, right? So you grow over time. Now, when you grow over time, you really need to know how to downsize over time as well with the requirement of the market.
But downsizing means laying off people. And on one hand, we are talking about creating jobs in this time of need. And on the other hand, we are forcing, okay, why don't you? This is a luxury. This is not a luxury. This is the only sort of entertainment we have. We are okay in the departmental stores where a lot of people are under one roof. One person is holding a bottle and there are 10 other person holding the same bottle.
So what do you want? What do you want?
We want we want normalization. That is what we
It's
want.
so funny,
No,
Shazad.
but
It's
for
like,
that,
we
the
want-
COVID, for that
we-
the COVID needs to go away. At least everybody needs to get
COVID
vaccinated. You know,
The COVID needs to be treated.
these are tough times, and
The
tough times call
precautions-
for tough solutions.
Let you
The,
put
the
your case.
precautions need to be equal for every segment.
They are.
No, they are not. Not for schools, not for universities, not for
Okay.
banks, not for the departmental stores. The only caution comes on the cafe, where everything is much more hygienic,
Yeah,
much
because
more
I'm going to have
sterilized.
my own food. I'm not going to touch anyone else's food as well. You're right. You're right on this.
Yeah. So this is the point, that please normalize things at least to the level of the other industry norms that are being followed for the COVID precautions.
Okay, so
this
what
is-
you're trying to say is that each and every restaurant should be allowed to function
Yes.
at its 100% capacity.
And with the responsibility on the owners and the management to observe the SOPs. Please trust them.
Okay.
We have invested a lot, and we are willing to invest a lot more on the safety of our customers.
All right, so Mr. Consultant, what do you say on this?
Well, actually, you know, it's what she was just mentioning, you know. The thing is that I'm losing.
It's okay. I'll just give you a gist of what she said. So, being the owner of a restaurant, she wants to have the, I don't know if permission
She's
is the
ready
right
to
word.
invest more on SOPs.
She's
Yes,
just saying
we are
should
ready to
have-
invest on it.
we
But you
should be
might be
allowed
one
to.
example, you know, there's so many people out there, you know, and there's no unity in between all of these people. You know, one wants to do this and the other one won't agree to it. That's the problem only. You know, there's no uniformity. Sir.
You see, in Pakistan, we were talking about earlier about the industry, you know. We only entertainment industry we're left with in Pakistan is restaurants.
Yeah, nobody's
You know what
talking
we
about
do?
cinemas,
We hang
right?
out in restaurants. Whatever we do, meetings in restaurants
Yeah,
and
even the
everything.
cinemas have been shut down.
You know, so I mean, at least you know, if indoor seating is allowed with SOPs, and you look at other industries, you know, like other sections, you know, there is transportation, there is airlines, you know.
Airlines.
Look, everyone is sitting right next to each other. You know, they can't do anything. So, why restaurants? You know,
Because,
someone needs to
you know,
work on it.
with flights, you know, you really have to wear your mask and hazmat as well, and you cannot eat with hazmats and masks on. And people over here, when I said do not have any etiquettes, people do not even know how to sneeze.
How to
You know,
wear a
that's the
mask
problem.
first of
and
all.
God forbid if they have sneezed with their hand right in front of their mouth and nose, please don't shake hands with somebody else.
And what if that happens in the flight cabin right next to
It
you,
happens.
and
You're
you cannot
wearing your
even go
hazmat
out?
and your mask. You cannot get onto the
Okay,
plane
you
without
guys,
that.
you guys, hold on. So let me just say, what you're saying makes sense as well, because just the other day I desperately had to go to the mall to get things for people, and I was questioning my husband that why am I allowed to chill in the mall, like do whatever I want in the mall, but not sit in the cafe
court.
within the mall? Yeah, sit in the food court.
In the food
I
court,
mean, what does that make sense? Yes, but now let's talk about the relief package that you want, and you're speaking on behalf of all the restaurant or cafe owners
Yeah,
right now,
go ahead.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
We're with you.
considering all the possibilities, Mr. Safdar, and considering this is Pakistan, considering the COVID situation over here, what do you think is the best relief package that could be offered to save all this?
Well, at this point, I don't know what else they can do, but
Okay.
at this point, what we really need is to open dining.
Dining should be.
Or probably
is it
allow
okay?
everybody
At
to
least
put tables
dining,
and
you
chairs
know.
outside.
So because you know, to make ends meet, you know, it's very difficult nowadays for restaurant industry. It's really, really tough times.
Yeah.
So even if at the moment, if you allow some, you know, government allows dine-in, that would be a great help to start with. Of course, you know, there's a long list they can work on. You know,
Do
we
you
can
agree
discuss
with what
that.
he said?
Yes. Again, I would say just keep us at par with the other institutions which are in the society.
And you promise that you will follow the SOP?
We will follow it.
And she's going to make sure that each and everybody out there, you know, for all of those restaurant owners, they're going to actually follow it as well, which is wonderful. And I think I have another solution as well, that for example, if we are to open up the dine-in or allow the restaurants to, you know, open up for the dine-in as well, I think what we really need to do is that we really need to put one chair on one table. You know, let's do that. You know, let's start from there. You know, so that every individual is by themselves as well, and that they're not going to have contact with anybody,
there's a family?
and put it
Yeah,
6
it's a
feet
family.
apart.
Yeah.
You know, probably use 3 tables. At least start somewhere. You know, we have to
Okay.
start somewhere. It cannot be 100% normal in one go. And I think it's a brilliant idea. Or probably if the table's bigger, we can put two chairs on that as well, which we saw people doing on Valentine's as well. You know, everybody was out there holding hands. Nobody said anything to anybody, yeah. And now all of a sudden, people are actually pressurizing the restaurant owners that, oh, you know, how is that happening? Please don't do that. I think
Right.
the point which Hajra made over there, or the point which she's trying to explain to all of us, is that the rules need to be same for each and everybody out there. You know, it's everybody who's trying to meet their ends. So it shouldn't be different for a mall owner and should be different for a restaurant owner. I think we really need to look into this as well. If there's somebody who's out there, please make sure that you do so.
Absolutely, and I think this is a very good time for home-based businesses, actually. We'll actually do an entire show on that later, but towards the very end, I want you guys to present your closing notes. You as a consultant, maybe your solutions, maybe your ideas of what can be better, and you about maybe your demands. Go ahead.
A lot of them.
Yeah, this is your camera,
Well,
please go ahead.
a lot has been said on demands, but please, you need to consider that when we talk about, the restaurant owners talk about having the things normal, it's not about our profit. It's about
course.
all the livelihood of all the people who are in front of you and at back of you. So please consider that these are also just citizens of Pakistan who deserve the same sort of opportunity and same sort of relief that every other industry is having, be it a small perchun ki dukaan or be it a big industry, steel mill industry.
Absolutely.
So please normalize
Wonderful.
whatsoever is there. And one thing, a little
Yes,
thing that I
please.
would like to say about the home-based business, my cafe primarily focuses on women entrepreneurs, although this is totally irrelevant, but I wanted to bring it that up.
Yes, please.
So what I would like to say that we have as a good thing of this pandemic, we have a lot of home businesses which are popping up, providing very hygienic food. So we are trying to make some platforms where the home businesses and the entrepreneur, specifically the women, should come up, and we are holding a food street by women by the name of Her Street
I
on
like
28th of February
wow.
Amazing.
That's
in
wonderful.
Islamabad, which will be, you know, where women will be in control, and it will be run by the women chefs
Amazing.
and the women management. And I really want that all of Islamabad should come there and visit.
And we are going to charge this woman for promotion as well, ladies and gentlemen. But very quickly, Sabda Saab, you only have 30 seconds.
Oh my
she
God.
took 1 minute of your time. Yes, please go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I just like to everyone to, you know, to remember one thing, that this is the only entertainment industry we have. So please remember that it's very difficult to run a restaurant, to manage a restaurant and run a restaurant. So understand that, and you know, help us out in this tough situation. You know, thank you so
And
much.
we will.
for
Thank you very
inviting.
much for
Thank you.
joining us. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, we're very short on time, so please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook, Twitter, you know, YouTube. Please go ahead,
All the
share the
social
address.
media pages with the name of Well This Morning, and then you can watch the repeat at 12:05 tonight. And till the next time, take care. Good morning.
Exactly. We have got some wonderful news anchors coming your way with the latest updates as well. Look
Yes.
after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.